Alrighty, already here we go with another Spring Nota commentary. This one a bit different. I'm actually watching this live as a spectator, so I've got no idea what's going to go on. And I just tried to do another one, but it ended up in a quit. So that was a bit boring. It's 2 versus 2, and someone dropped out, and yeah, the solo player didn't want to continue against 2, which is fair enough. So, anyway, excuse me, sneeze coming up. Ugh. I'm a bit burnt out at the moment, actually. Last night I was playing Spring until like 7 AM in the morning, as down here, down under, not too many people play, and I'm stuck playing with Europeans mostly. So, time zones are quite out. Anyways, here we go with Svenda versus Daniel Kilner. It's actually Daniel Killer now, which when it was Kilner I used to call him Killer and people called me a noob, but it's Killer now. He must have liked it better. Must have liked the way it sounded coming off my lips. Anyway, Mr. Killer has not gone for a lab at all as of yet. He's got 11 medal income as opposed to Svenda's 7, so taking the early lead there by not building a lab yet. With Svenda managing to get some units out, opting for K-bots. Seems to be a favourite of his, and I cannot blame him because I'm leaning towards K-bots mostly myself. Definitely probably easier to use, especially for beginners. This map's not too big and it's quite hilly, so K-bots can definitely do very well here. Vehicles are a bit harder to use to their full potential on this map. Anyway, so see if Svenda's earlier economy lag will translate into an economy win. Yeah, he's got the builder out before Daniel gets his very first unit out, and is immediately going to start capping mechs after this radar, which is actually going to take like a minute. So he's still got yeah, might not transfer into much of an economy lead. Who knows? We shall see. Donald Killer is actually dropped behind like I thought he might. I mean, it's all even Stevens now. It's not anything in much difference, although Daniel Killer has got more of an energy infrastructure. He's choosing to go charge straight down the middle there with his first K-bots that he's built. I don't know if he just saw Svenda there, but just sort of turning around at the right time to group up his units, and he'll certainly take these dudes out. Or he should do. He's outnumbered. We should see this first little, almost insignificant victory go to Daniel. Oh, is he going to manage to not lose one? Almost managed to not even lose one there for thingies. Svenda's 3, and the cool thing about K-bots is they've got a decent passive heal once they've been out of combat for a few seconds. I'm not sure how long it is, but you know, they heal up. You know, before too long they'll be at full health again, which is a cool thing that K-bots have over vehicles which have none, or very little to none, self-repair. There we go. Yeah, it started repairing now. Look at that guy. I mean, it doesn't take long. So there you go, guys. Knowledge is power. You know more. And Svenda quickly marshalling his forces and coming back for another bite. Both teams have radar now, but Svenda has the range advantage. He's got a couple of thuds in there already against these Pee-wees, and they'll probably run away. And they are. Svenda's starting to build the second lab now. Well, his economy is still slightly in front. He's going for K-bots, double K-bots that is, as has Daniel, which is interesting. I thought people would probably choose a vehicle lab as their second choice. And here's something I'm interested to see. Daniel's starting to build some snipers. Let's see if he got them in his build rotation, or is he just built a one-off? He's just built a one-off, and then he's still spamming these Pee-wees, but boom, it'll be interesting how this goes. Sniper is a unit I desperately want to love, and I do love, but I've had shall we say, mixed success with them. They definitely require 100% concentration for micro purposes. Speaking of concentration for micro purposes, what are these peewees doing? Get them back in line, as he has now. And yeah, with these snipers, I would have thought, you know, come on Daniel, a bit more harass. Here he goes. Use those snipers to their fullest. Certainly, Svenda has a lot more of a military presence at the moment. Mr. Kilner, who has had a bit of a metal disadvantage, but had an energy advantage. Now he doesn't even have that. He's completely at a disadvantage when it comes to economy. But he's going for that geothermal, which will give him a decent boost of energy. But so far, not one builder on the map building mexes, and this is where Svenda's eco advantage is coming from. He's got this happy little dude happily capping out mexes, and everyone that's built gets him more and more in front. But he really needs to get some energy going, which he is now. It's sorely needed. Yeah, definitely stalling there to quite a tune. But saw both. Oh no, Daniel has finished the geothermal now, and he is rolling in energy, so that's good. And he's just got his first builder out too. And here we go. Here is the problem with snipers. I mean, it was a bit of Daniel Killer's fault too. I mean, he should be protecting those snipers with his AKs. What else are they for? But, you know, look at that. A sniper just falling to two incredibly cheap units. Incredibly cheaply. But, like I said, that was partly Daniel Killer's fault. But the problem is, you know, snipers are slow and weak. And despite being called snipers, they have a very short range. So it isn't... Once they get themselves in the range to attack, it is not hard for cheap, fast units to run them down, because, you know, their range is just lacking. I believe myself, and it has been my belief for some time, they just need a very, very moderate range boost. Nothing major. Let's just increase it slowly. I don't want to break balance and do anything crazy, but, like, seriously, 650 range? Like, it has 60 more range than a FUD, which can easily chase it down. Who knows. Definitely the best way to use snipers is definitely fight moves. They only go as far forward as they need to and not a step further. Nice dance. Too right, pal. Again, so like I said, he starts running his sniper down and almost getting within deadly range. Oh, he's going to die anyway, so... Boom. There you go, like I said, snipers. He's probably going to lose this one too, just to like a couple of AKs. Dodging rockets, but not all of them. Bye-bye, snipers. So yeah, Svenda, doing surprisingly well. I wouldn't say surprisingly, he's a good player, but yeah, doing very well. What's surprising is all this that Daniel Kilner is diverting this way, which is the cause of him losing this battle. He's fighting 2 labs with the only production power of his 1. Realising this, he's starting to bring in all these peewees. It's going to be too little too late. I mean, it's easier to fight 2 small armies one at a time than it is to fight them all at once. Yeah. We shall see. But right now, I'd have Svenda with a big chance to win as he goes for his 3rd K-bot lap. But Mr. Kilner, he has gone for his freaking spy K-bot again. And wow, does it ever work so well? Wow, well done. Self-destructing his spies and winning a nice victory that he so desperately needed. Well done, Mr. Killer. Meanwhile, a couple of his forces managed to get around the side here and will probably end up doing absolutely nothing before they get killed by his comm, but he knows where they are. He knows where it is now. Run, little peewee, run. No. And now Daniel Killer goes for a third lap, and he's going K-Bots as well. So we got K-Bot madness on this map. No other thing being used. And now Daniel Killer is actually starting to cap a lot of mexes, and probably even more than Zvenda. So let's have a bit of a look. He's at 31 metal with plenty of energy coming at 500, as opposed to Zvenda's 23 and still e-stalling. So yeah, Zvenda's economy lead has slipped away, but we'll see. He's just going for a 4th lap now, so he's a lap in front, and he's still capping out mexes with this little fella. He really needs to focus on the south though. Now that Daniel has gone into mex capping gear, he's heading off down both sides. Then they're opting to fight move these dudes. Not okay, it can work out actually. Perhaps not the best way to do it, but they should perhaps be taking more advantage of their speed, not standing there and shooting. But in this particular circumstance, it doesn't really matter. The battle looking a fair bit more even now, but time will tell. Time will tell. Daniel Killer pops some more spy K-Bots, catching a few thuds and rockos, a few of the more costly units there, and it's gonna be a short-lived victory though. He's gonna have to retreat, and he'll probably lose those few little peewees there. Bender just has too much of a large army, and Bender's starting to push through in the bottom now, so Daniel Killer not really being able to capitalise on his economy advantage he was starting to get without a military advantage to back it up. Zenda applying pressure as he needs to, not letting him get away with having that extra economy. And yes, this little push here at the bottom could do quite nicely, and yeah, it's going to wipe out quite a few mexes. Oh no, poor little radar K-Bot. I hope that was not Daniel's only radar, but I bet you it was. No, it wasn't. He has one up here, which is useful. Daniel Killer struggling with the economy and trying to get more labs out, going for that 5th K-Bot lab. So it'll actually be a K-Bot lab in front now. Both teams are struggling with energy. Zenda trying to right that, building a whole bunch of wind, which is, you know, it's decent on this map. It is worthwhile. Very sporadic, down to a minimum of 1. I'm not sure if it's the best thing to do. I always like to have at least 1 energy storage when I'm going for a fair bit of wind power on a map that has a bottom end of perhaps only 1, because gives me a bit of a buffer when the wind does drop out, have a bit more stored. And obviously then being able to soak up more of that extra energy and not accessing it too when the wind picks up. And also having, of course, a couple of metal makers to convert the extra energy that you get in the windier times to metal, and yada yada yada. Point being, don't necessarily go wind unless you're going to have a few extra things to take more advantage of it. I think Daniel could be in a bit of trouble here. He's securing the north quite nicely, which I like. I really do. So how's that well and truly going? If he can hold the line here and not get pushed back any further than this, he's still in with a chance, albeit not a very good one. But, you know, we'll see. Zoom out a bit here so we can see the dots. Let's see what this little push is going to do. What have we got? If we've only got mainly peewees and sprinters, these LLTs should do alright, but I forget just how friggin' armoured sprinters actually are compared to, what are these guys doing? Shoot back, you little mongrels. Compared to the zippers, the arm equivalent, the core ones have a lot more armour. But yeah, like those LLTs on the hill, look at that. Elevation advantage, as useful as it has ever been. Actually, elevation shouldn't have played much of a part in that, actually, seeing as the LLTs use lasers and most of the attacking forces were lasers as well. It shouldn't have made any difference whatsoever to the engagement. Unless, of course, the attackers had to slog uphill to get in range, which I believe they did. Like I said, Daniel Killer has done what I thought he had to and hold the line there. So it'll be interesting what is the next move. Militarily, both teams relatively even still. Snipers on the hills. A traditional spot for a sniper up on a high place. And this is what I like. Reclaim, reclaim, reclaim. I am such a big fan of reclaim, and it has helped me immensely in more games than I can care to remember. So, good job, Daniel. Keep reclaiming. Keep reclaiming. Don't know what these two are rushing forward to the front lines for. He must have accidentally grabbed them with the rest of his units. As the two armies smash together here. I don't know who's going to come out on top. It is just an absolute mash fest. Absolutely, well and truly a mash fest. But Svenda's superior military power is going to come on top again, and he must have a pretty big eco advantage by this point. 48 income as opposed to Daniel Killer's 23, so I'm going to go ahead and call this one and say it is almost certainly over. Save a miracle from Mr. Kilmer. Finally, we've got a bit of a diversity in strategy though. Mr. Kilmer has gone for some plane labs, which is probably, you know, what he needs to do. He's not going to win by doing the same, because just butting heads with the same type of units, he is at a severe economy disadvantage, and that's just not going to work out for him. So see if some planes can turn the tide, but he only has, I believe, one toadfoot made. Oh, it's not toadfoot, hellfish made at the moment. So still some time until that's going to have to come into play. Daniel Killer, sweep down, my friend, sweep down. Take out this eco. It is ripe for the picking. It is ripe for the picking. That's it, that's it. Go that way. He's going to miss a decent chunk of his economy there, but he's going to get some of it. This is good. This is what he needs. And hitting the economy at the top too. Well done. This is really good. Maybe I was wrong. I maybe shouldn't have called that game. So as Daniel Killer has gone for some air finally, Zvenda is going for some armor. No one teching as of yet. The game much too back and forth for, you know, certainly for Daniel Killer to feel comfortable to tech. Zvenda probably could have had an opportunity to tech at some points, as his little raid on the bottom still goes around being harassed by sprinters. Lag. The sprinters just sort of, yeah, not being micro as well they should, and they've chased them far enough for their little thing, and they're not going to chase them any further. So Daniel hitting at the economy on both top and bottom, which is really good, but this will be a problem for him. But he's reacting, he's bringing his army down there, whilst hitting through the middle with the army too. So yeah, this game's still very much in the air. I'm really enjoying it, actually. Really enjoying it indeed. So what is he building? His armor. He's just building some medium tanks. Not going for the artillery route. Wow, and this could be another potentially good raid, but he's stopping them there. I hate to see that. I'm sure I'm guilty of doing it heaps myself, but I hate seeing people give, you know, an attack order and then going off to do something else, and they get there and they just a potentially awesome push is wasted. This could be interesting. I don't know if it's intentional or not, but baiting these guys towards the snipers on the hills. But the sniper's actually not close enough to the ledge to get a decent angle there by the look of it. A few things were in range without them attacking. Power picking it up as well. Just what I was saying. So yeah, as me and Power have picked up there, he does not have his snipers close enough to the edge, and they can't shoot because the lip is in the way. What a waste. Yeah, a couple of them starting to get a firing solution. Pew pew pew! Now he moves them. Much too late. Great little raid. Oh my, I can't believe this. The back and forth of this match. What's the economy doing now? Daniel up to 39. And Svenda back down to 26 from 48. What a magnificent economy raid. It definitely made cost. And we're going to see some more damage inflicted here. He hasn't even bring the freaking fish out until now. Here we go with a massive overkill on the first thing they bomb. How wonderful. Ugh, what a terrible bombing run. Just the elevation of the train there, just making that not quite work. What would have been fantastic with those fish actually is just to line up all those factories and just go, yeah, bomb them all. But, wow. Here we go. Daniel has come back and I believe is poised for victory. I can't see his vendor coming back now. Daniel has more military and economic power, and he's got the map cordoned off quite nicely. He has strong presence in the south, and he's got half of the freaking top taken care of too. Drop, drop, boom, boom. The bombs just straddling their intended targets. Yes, epic fail indeed, Power. Just fish showing their power against super clumped units. And Svenda has resigned. So there we go, that is game. What a actually really fantastic one. Great comeback there by Mr. Killer. Fantastic. So, yes, I believe he has left the game. So, yeah, that's about all she wrote. Control A, Control D. Exactly, that's how we all do it. Select all, self-destruct. That's the man's way to go out. Go out on his nuclear sword. I guess he hasn't resigned. He is still building, unless that was just a build order that was left. Svenda has left the lobby. I mean, he's definitely gone. So I'm just going to go ahead and alt-tab out. Fantastic comeback game. Well done, Mr. Killer. Well done, Svenda. And I hope to see you all on the Nota battlefield.